Okay, so Ms. Do will start discussion of this question. Okay, for the part A, whenever you see lawn, all of us have to bear in mind. Whenever we see lawn, okay, we have to remember this thing, whatever function in the lawn, expression in lawn must be more than 1. More than 0, sorry. Yeah, whatever in lawn must be more than 0. So I straight away write down, this is the expression in lawn. So I say x more than 0. So that is what they want. Find the value of x for which fx is defined. Fx is defined means you find the domain. So if you want, you can say the domain is equal to x. X is a member of real number and x must be greater than 0. Done. Okay? Or you want to say fx is defined. If you want to answer in this way also can. You say fx is defined for x greater than 0. That's it. Also can. So up to you, whichever way you want to say. Okay? So part B. So before you can draw the sign diagram for each of them, you must get the function first. So my fx is x plus ln x. So you have to get f prime x first. Okay, the rate of change of x is 1. The rate of change of ln x is x 1 over x. Okay, so now, when you want to draw the sign diagram, you have to equate f prime x equal to 0. Right? So I will write here, no solution. Okay, what I don't have to give the reason unless the question asks for a reason. Why? Why there's no x-intercept for f prime x? Then only I will explain. So I explain here because x is more than 0. So this explanation is not necessary for this question. Okay, so when I draw the sign diagram of f prime x, because the domain is start from more than 0, so I have to put a dotted line, 0 onward. And I don't have to mark anything on the sign diagram of f prime x because f prime x never become 0. And I don't even have to use my graphic calculator to test for the sign because x is always greater than 0. So this thing is always more than 0. Plus 1 definitely is more than 0. So I can straight away write down a positive sign. Okay, so if those who cannot analyze like that, you can just key this into your graphic calculator. Then you use your Y2 to test. Any value as long as x is greater than 0. Okay, so I'm just telling you, these are things it can be analyzed so that you don't have to waste time using the calculator to test. So it's up to individual. Do you get me? Okay, so I got. So what is a geometrical interpretation for this? When we say geometrical interpretation, we are going to talk about the shape of the graph. You can say the changes of the fx graph or changes or talking about the graph of f prime x. So up to you. So anyone want to try for f prime x graph? Or you wait when you do the f double prime x sign diagram, then only you talk about f prime x graph? So anyone want to give a geometrical interpretation of fx graph? Anyone want to try? Nor Amira? Ah, yeah. Someone want to try? Yes?
The graph is always increasing.
Yeah, which graph?
Fx.
Yeah, so you have to specify the, so this show that geometrical interpretation, that means, therefore, fx graph is always increasing. Yeah, so you got the geometrical interpretation. If I want to interpret about f prime x, I also can say like that. F prime x graph is always above the x-axis. You see? Also can. Yeah. Okay. So now after we have done the f prime x sign diagram and do the geometrical interpretation of whatever we can talk about fx and f prime x, then we go to f double prime x. So when you talk about f double prime x, we have to be very careful that we have to write this one in our mind as x to the power -1, so that it's easier for us to find. So rate of change of 1 is 0. 1 is never change. Okay, rate of change of x to the power -1 is -1 times x to the power -2. So I got -1 over x squared. So x is always greater than 0. Therefore, f double prime x never becomes 0. Correct? So there is no x-intercept. So when I draw the sign diagram, f double prime x, it will be start from x equal to 0, cannot be equal to 0. I put dotted line, and here x. And we know that. We know the true fact that x squared is always more than 0. So -1 divided by a positive number, you will give us always negative. Okay. So now how are we going to make a geometrical interpretation about fx graph? So therefore, fx graph, who want to try? Is always, anyone want to try?
Increasing rate.
Okay, you can say increasing with decreasing rate. Okay, so before we say increasing with decreasing rate, we will say fx graph is always, talk about the shape first.
Concave down.
Yeah, concave down. Word. So therefore, fx is always increasing because of this one with decreasing rate. So, are you okay? So that is your geometrical interpretation. So, and what can you say about f prime x? What can you say about f prime x graph? F prime x is always decreasing. And f double prime x graph is always below the x-axis. See or not, student? So this one you can give all the geometrical interpretation. Yeah. So when someone asks you to, based on the side diagram and give a geometrical interpretation, you can interpret about f prime x, you can interpret about fx, depend on the situation. Yeah. So now based on this facts, and based on this fact, do you know how to sketch the graph of y equal to fx? And one more fact that we have to remember here. So 3 facts combined together. So for part C, so I will draw okay. Do I need to find the x-intercept for fx?
Yes.
Do I need to find the x-intercept for fx?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have to. So x plus ln x equal to 0. So how am I going to solve this?
Using a solver.
Yeah, I have to take out my calculator using a solver. Do you know why? Because there is a linear term and an exponential and a long term. So we can't solve it manually. Are you okay? So you have to. So in the exam, I will not ask you for this question, ask you to find the exact value of the x-intercept of fx. I definitely will not. So can you use your solver? Try to use your solver and find the x-intercept.
0.567.
Yes, what do you get?
0.567.
0.567. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Anyone in the class don't know what to do? Anything you cannot solve manually, solver. Anyone? Everyone know what to do? Sure. If Miso happen to call you, huh?
Yeah, so far okay, miss.
You got that? Krishan, Ashwindaran, you got that?
So far, yes. I answer, miss. Yeah, answer so far, miss. Yep.
Yeah, you also get this answer from solver. Huh? Ashwindaran?
No, my answer is wrong, unfortunately, miss.
So do you use solver?
I don't think so, miss. No.
If you didn't use solver, then what do you use? You use graph. You find a 0.
Yeah, I used to graph, miss. That's why.
If you use the graph, how you find the 0? You will get a graph like that. Am I right?
Yeah, miss.
So how are you going to find the 0 here? You tell me from the graph.
Oh, okay.
If you get the graph, how are you going to find the 0? You tell me. You instruct.
You can't find it because it's very hard to tell from here.
What do you mean by very hard to tell? Okay, I just want to ask, do you know how to sketch the graph or not?
No, not probably, miss. No.
You don't know how to sketch the graph. Okay. As if you know how to sketch the graph for this case?
Which for the
This
y
Yeah, y equal to, I want you to sketch a graph y equal to x plus ln x.
Just like how you draw.
Yeah, I know how to use your graphic calculator to sketch. Your friend don't know what to do.
Oh,
Mm.
you press Y, and then you put in the equation x plus ln x, and then you go to the window, you put x minimum 0, maximum 20, and then
I think
you
it, okay. Can. Okay, you put 20, I follow you. Mm.
and then yeah, you press zoom, and then you zoom fit, which is 0. That's all.
Then the graph will come out, right?
Yes.
Ashwindaran, do you know what to do now?
Yeah, I understand, Miss now. Yes.
So after that, how to get the x-intercept? Ashwindaran, can you please tell me how to get the x-intercept?
No, I don't know. Sorry.
You follow the instruction. So the graph that you get, it looks some sort like this. Am I right? Right? So how to get the x-intercept? You see, you didn't learn, Ashwindaran. Okay. Shini, are you here? How to get the x-intercept here using your graphic calculator? The rest you have to bear with me. Shini, tell me how to use a graphic calculator and get this answer. Shini,
0.567.
no, I asked you how to use your graphic calculator and get this answer. Just now your friend described slowly how to key in already. Ashwindaran, did you key in? Okay. Ashwindaran, did you key in?
Yeah, what?
Did you do all this just now as if described slowly step by step? Okay. I don't know what to do. Okay, if you want to find the x-intercept using your graphic calculator, you put second trace. You press second trace.
Wait,
You
and
select,
do we press 5?
you press, okay, up to you. Then you press 2. You select 2,
Oh.
that is a 0. I don't think you press 5, you can get, no. No, you can't use press 5.
Okay.
Press 5 is go get the value. Okay, you have to put second trace, you select 0. Then they ask for left bound, so you bring the cursor to the left. That means you bring your cursor here. This is the left bound. Okay. So you use your cursor and bring it down. Left bound, and you put enter. Then after that, it come out right bound. So you bring your cursor up here. Okay, then they ask guess, you press enter. then you get the answer as this one. So for this case, using solver is much easier. And we know that the vertical asymptote is x equal to 0. So this is a graph. Are you clear? Okay, good. We are done with this question. Okay, let's go to question 9.
Oh, Miss.
Yes?
For the question C, they got labeled the point 11.
Huh? Why you have to label the point 11?
I don't know the answer got.
Why should I label the point 11? You tell me.
Mm.
Okay. Why should, okay, so if my answer is like that, okay, now you judge. Will you give me full marks for that?
Yeah.
So what, okay, then if we look at the answer, okay, let's look at the answer. Sometimes I didn't check the answer, so I don't know what the answer gives. Okay, review, let me check. Unless the student asks me. So I'm too confident of myself. Okay, 6. Okay, why they want to put the point 11? If I didn't put, will you give me full mark? It's just a judgment. It's just a judgment only. Okay, just simply put a point. If I want to put 2 plus ln 2 also can. So the 11 there is of no significance of it. Are you clear? So as long as you give me like that, you will get full marks for the sketching. The shape is correct. The x-intercept there. Yeah. And 2n, that means you can go on and on and on and on. So remember, when we are in high school, correct, we don't have a habit of putting arrow. That means we put the arrow there is to tell you the graph is going to continue in this shape. Are you clear? Continue to be in this direction. Okay. So can we move on to question 9?
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, let's look at question 9. Okay, why question 9 they didn't ask you to find the domain? Can anyone tell me? Why question 9 they didn't ask you to find the domain? Because look, if I ask for domain, correct, according to what we learned about ln, correct, whatever expression in the ln must be greater than 0. So because of the x squared, so it doesn't matter, all value of x squared will be more than 0, correct? So if I do the analysis like that, for all real value of x, okay, x squared is more than 0. Any number square is more than 0, okay? Can or not? Okay, so that's why they didn't ask for domain. So the domain for this case is any value of x. X is a member of real number. So that means your graph will be on both sides. Yeah, negative x also can, positive x also can, because if negative x is squared, it will be positive, okay? And because it's +5, so it definitely is positive. So this question, they won't, if they ask for domain, this will be your answer. Are you okay? Okay, so now, then they find and classify any turning point, find and classify any point of inflection, find the interval. Okay, can Miso give you 10 minutes to try to solve that? Then I will discuss the whole question with you. It's a very nice shape of graph. You can use your graphic calculator and start to sketch, see how it goes. Okay, first do it manually first, then use your graphic calculator, okay? 10 minutes. Okay, for part A, they say find and classify any point, any turning point. So what we need to do is when we have this, we want to classify, what we need to do is we key this into our Y1. Huh? Did you? So your Y2 is F prime X, your Y3 is F double prime X, okay? So first of all, I will differentiate this. F prime X equal to X squared plus 5, and here up here 2X, correct? So F prime X equal to 0. So it's a fraction, so I can straight away write 2X. The top must be 0, so equal to 0. So X is 0. So this is the stationary point. So I want to say the nature of the stationary point for Fx. So I have to draw the F prime X sign diagram. So here is your 0. So if X is more than 0, then it's positive. If X is less than 0, it will be negative. Because if up is negative, down there is definitely positive because it's X squared plus 5. So this one will be down. So therefore, when X is equal to 0, F0 is equal to ln 5. So I will say therefore, 0 ln 5 is the local minimum of y equal to fx. So you have to be very careful. We are talking about the local minimum of which one? Okay. Then I go to part B. So in order to find f double prime x, if we want to talk about inflection point, we have to find f double prime x. So this one, you must use your quotient rule. V bottom u prime plus minus u v prime. That is 2x. The whole thing divided by v squared. Okay, am I going too fast? Okay, so I have expand the top, 2x squared plus 10 minus 4x squared divided by x squared plus 5, the whole thing squared. So I have 10 minus 2x squared divided by x squared plus 5. So for inflection point, of y equal to fx, f double prime x must be equal to 0, which means 10 minus 2x squared equal to 0. So my x squared will be equal to 5. So therefore, my x is equal to plus or minus square root of 5. So I know that this is, so I draw, do I need to draw the sign diagram? Actually, I don't have to draw the sign diagram. Yeah. So I can say when x equal to root 5, my f root 5 will be equal to ln root 5 squared plus 5. So equal to ln 10. Okay. When my x equal to negative 5, negative root 5, my f negative root 5 will be equal to ln negative root 5 squared plus 5 is also ln 10. Okay, now This is a non-horizontal inflection point. Correct? Because the root 5 doesn't appear here. So therefore, I say, therefore, root 5 ln 10 and negative root 5 ln 10 are the non-stationary inflection point. Of y equal to fx. Okay, I'm done with part B. Yeah. So these are the basic that every one of us have to know. So let's go to part C. Okay, find the interval when the function is increasing or decreasing. So I have to look at the f prime x graph. All right. So I will say that y equal to fx is increasing when x is greater than 0 and y equal to fx is decreasing when x is less than 0. Okay, done. Then part D. Find the interval where the function is concave up. Okay. So just how Ms. Lo said, don't have to draw the sign diagram, correct? Yep. So now, do you think you need to draw the sign diagram of f double prime in order to answer part D? Yes. Yes, you have to. So now we have to draw the sign diagram of f double prime x. So we have 2 points here. One is negative root 5. One is root 5. So you can use your graphic calculator. Root 5 is approximately 2 point something. Am I right? This is negative 2 point something. This is positive 2 point something. Okay. I don't have to know the exact value. So here I put negative 3. I will get a negative sign. Correct? Then here I put 0. I will get a positive sign and a negative sign. Am I right? So you have to work with your graphic calculator. I don't have to. I have a way to do it. Do you know why? From this one, and this one, correct? I know the how the graph of y equal to fx go already. Okay, I can. So now from here, I can say that for x less than negative root 5 or x more than root 5, y equal to fx is concave. Okay, concave what? Let me ask someone. Yep. Kiko. Concave what?
Upwards.
Concave up, negative what, young man?
Downwards.
Down, yes, concave down. Remember, how to say? You look at the smiling face, crying face, negative person. Right? So this is called concave down. Yep. Okay, then for x between negative root 5 and root 5, y equal to fx is concave up. Okay, so done. So sketch the function, show the feature you have found. So now you have found the feature. So if I sketch, by the way, what is the minimum? This is also the local minimum. This is also the local minimum, ln 5. Okay, so now we know there's 2 inflection point here. One is negative √5. One is √5. Correct? And here is ln 5. Here is ln 10. So the minimum point is here. Then the inflection point is here. Up a bit. Yeah. So the graph of y equal to fx is concave. Concave down. Yeah, then go up. Convex, then concave again. Hello? So the graph go like that. So how is, so this is the one that you are supposed to sketch. So you put the important point. Yeah, ln 5. And the inflection point here, √5, ln 10, symmetrical, negative √5, ln 10. So you sketch the graph. And you got the answer. So now, look at. For exam, I can give you the fx function like that. I can give you the fx function, which is like that. Okay, I draw more obvious. Concave. Then I tell you that this point A, point B, and point C. So I say point A and C are inflection point and inflection point. Of y equal to fx. And point B is the stationary point. Of y equal to fx. So I ask you, sketch the graph of f prime x. Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can do it? So how are you going to do? If I want you to sketch this graph. So I will draw the sign diagram first. I will draw the sign diagram of f prime x. So when you draw the sign diagram of f prime x, this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. So how are you going to draw your sign diagram? You will mark a B here. The graph is going down, negative, positive. Then you will draw the f double prime x sign diagram. You mark the point A and you mark the point C. C, these all are the x coordinate. And this is concave, down, negative, positive, negative. So that means my f prime x graph based on this sign diagram. This one means it will below the x-axis, but it's going down. You see, going down, stationary, go up. Okay. Then after that, you go up, up, up until certain extent. You pass by this point. Then after that, you go, this is go up go stationary, then go down. So I have this feature already, so it go like that. But you have a look at it. It doesn't go down in this way. It's decreasing. If you look at this graph, the gradient is approaching 0. So that means if you draw this for this particular question, correct? For this particular question, if you key into your graphic calculator, you can see the graph exactly. So in the exam, if I give you like that, so how I will draw the graph, I will do it this way. So this is a skill, so I will mark this one down a little bit. So it will go some sort like that. Yeah, there is some place somewhere here. It will go like that, and it will go up, pass by this point. From here onward is positive, so you will go. Then after that, you will go like that. So this is your y equal to f prime x. You can try. So these are something that in the exam, what I can do is I can have this because I know how is the nature look like. So you have to, like this part of it, correct? You have to study from here. The graph that I give you. So I will encourage you to draw the f prime x sign diagram, f prime x graph and f double prime x graph for this particular function using your graphic calculator. You will see it's very interesting graph. Yeah. Okay, student. So these are the talking about the curve property. Okay, so you may want to practice other question in the review set or any other thing. So I will see you tomorrow morning and you ask me any questions that you like from the textbook. Okay? If not, I will select certain questions to discuss with you. Would that be okay? Okay, thank you, class.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss.
Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, can you can you go back to the first slide?
First slide, huh?
Yeah.
This one, huh?
Yeah, this one.
Okay. Done?
One sec.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The rest? The rest, any question? Why are you still? Ashwindaran, Carol Rampa, Hao Zhe, Safwan, Sian.